It can be really expensive to reach your goals for your landscapes and gardens because plants themselves are really expensive. A lot of what we want to use in our landscapes are perennial plants, which are the pricier of the plant choices as compared to annuals. But you really can do a lot with your yard just by looking around, taking some cuttings, propagating from things that are already in your yard, and then filling in those spaces and completing your design. Some things to think about are things like lilac bushes. This is a lilac bush. It's about 3 years old now. And this is one that I took from a roadside cutting from an old foundation down the road. It was as simple as that. It sends out side shoots that all I had to do was dig up a couple of the side shoots, plant them in the ground, and they took off. And here we are a few years later. I've got this and its mate over there. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do. A lot of plants lend well to taking cuttings. Lilacs might be one of them. One I have high success with is elderberries. They root really readily. They do great as dormant cuttings. And a lot of these plants, like the elderberries, are things that you might be pruning every year. Rose bushes are same thing. So if you're pruning them, save some of those dormant cuttings, stick them in some rooting hormone and some soilless medium or even some soil. Get some good roots growing on them and plant them back in the yard. If you have things like perennial bulbs, like lilies, tubers, different things like that, like dahlias, these are great things. They usually need dividing every few years anyway because they kind of start to choke themselves out. If they're well established, you know, usually you're dividing every 3 to 5 years, but if they're well established, then go ahead and take some divisions out of them, spread them around, and they're going to grow and really help fill in your spaces. So, you know, not all of us have a lot going on in our yards that maybe we can choose from, but think about like your friends, your neighbors, your families, they might, and they're probably willing to share, especially if they have to divide plants themselves, because it gets to a point where eventually you're not going to have any room left to put any new divisions. So put the word out there. Let people know that you're willing to take on their divisions and their cuttings, that you'd love to have them and give new life. And eventually you can build a really great landscape yourself.